Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
And this is a less hairy Justin.
How
Welcome.
are you, Justin? It's very good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you too. It's been a while.
Indeed, it's been a little while for this series of videos. Life gets in the way, blah blah blah. This is no longer going to be a weekly thing, we'll just do it as it comes. But yes, the Hangar Bay is back on the channel. We're going to try and get back with some regularity. We haven't had a whole heap of submissions since the points have changed, which is not surprising because we haven't spoken about the Hangar Bay since then. So we're just going to do a wildcard video, just get back into the rhythm of things, talk about some random lists that you have submitted, both here on YouTube and on the Patreon Discord. Remember, if you want to submit either, it can be in the relevant channel over on the Discord. Details for that down in the description below if you want to be part of that. And on YouTube here, just submit it in a comment on any video. It doesn't have to be a Hangar Bay video. Just your X-Wing list with the link to that list in a squad builder in that comment as well. Now, I do have to be strict about that because we get a lot of submissions, especially when we fail to talk about this, that don't have that link. Guys, we got to have that link as well. It adds so much extra time onto the production of these videos where we have to sort of build these stats ourselves. If you go to yet another Squad Builder 2.0, you make the list, you go to the text view, you copy the whole thing, and it does the whole list with the link there automatically. There is literally no excuse. Works just as well on a browser, just as well on a mobile phone. So yeah, just do that and we're all good. Yet another Squad Builder is, in my opinion, a much, much better tool than the official Squad Builder. So we're just going to chill out and read some random X-Wing lists and talk about them, talk about like how they're sort of moving into this new meta with a new point structure and just kind of go from there. If you're new to the channel, we like to do this, talk about how things are relevant in meta play, in like casual kitchen table X-Wing. I don't like to cater to just one audience. We just like to have a good old chat about this stuff.
Yeah, now we do normally talk more about extended than hyperspace, but if your list is hyperspace legal, please let us know.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning as well because a lot of tournaments these days are hyperspace legal. And of course, you can always use hyperspace lists in extended. There are plenty of examples where extended tournaments have been won by hyperspace lists, so it's not irrelevant. Without any further ado, we're going to first have a look at a few patron-submitted lists. Again, we're trying to focus on some of the newer patrons that haven't been featured before. It's just one of those things we're trying to make sure, hey, if you're supporting the channel, that we want to actually, show our love and actually talk about some of the things that you submit and all that kind of stuff. Starting off by this list here, Hangar by Actually Coulson. Hangar, because we have Dengar and a couple of Fang fighters. Dengar has expert handling, proton torpedoes, auto blasters, maul, BT-1, and contraband cybernetics.
And the two Skull Squadron pilots both have Fearless.
Which I like. 4 Skull Squadron pilots with Fearless is a viable list. We know this. It's not meta-breaking. It hasn't won major tournaments, but it's something that's a very sort of ace player-friendly kind of list. You just get 4 of these Initiative 4 pilots with Fearless, so you get to capitalize on good flying. So that sort of shell alone is a good building block for the Scum faction. With all that in mind, let's focus on Dengar and talk about how that kind of approach works. We were talking before, I think the one thing that stands out here is Maul. It's an expensive investment. Considering we already have an 11-point bid, it almost stops us from putting an extra ship on the list.
Yeah, we could quite easily fit another ship on here if you take Maul off and also consider maybe dropping the Proton Torpedoes down to Plasma.
Or just dropping it entirely. If we do that, if we just drop off Maul, we could put a TIE fighter on, one of the Mining Guild TIE fighters. Will just fit in points-wise. If we take off both, we could look at an escape craft or something a bit more expensive like that.
This is 1 Initiative 6 and 2 Initiative 4, so you may want a bit of a bid here, but I think 11 points is too much right now.
11 points is fine. I don't think it's a bad thing. This conversation around what bid should we be taking in second edition has been circulating for so long, and again, we've just had another points adjustment, so it could change again. I like having a bid, and 11 points is what I would call a real bid. Like, you're going to win the bidding war more often than you're not in competitive tournaments, so that's a good thing. So from that point of view, yeah, I'd still try and keep one. you can still fit another ship in regardless. Like, the main question is, are the Proton Torpedoes and Maul both super important to this list? I don't think they are. I think Expert Handling and Auto Blasters are. Auto Blasters on Dengar is a fantastic upgrade. Expert Handling also helps you. It gives you more agency over your repositioning, which makes Auto Blasters more and more powerful. It's just a good pilot overall. I've struggled with him myself, being a scum player. I can never make the Jumpmaster work for me. I don't know what it is. It's not Boba Fett, but it comes down to personal choice. If you like Boba Fett more, fly Boba Fett. If you like Dengar more, fly Dengar. If you like them both, well, that's a list right there as well.
Exactly.
Indeed. Let's move on to the next list by Captain Bo Jangles. This is a Rebel Jankyard build. Jankyard hasn't really been a thing in 2nd edition yet.
No, it still sort of skirts the edges. One day soon it'll win a tournament and then everyone will be back on it.
Yeah, I think so. Especially as the name pilots become cheaper and cheaper. This has got Luke, Nora, Kyle, and Lieutenant Blount. Luke has R5 Astromech and the Servomotor S-foils.
Nora Wexley has the Ion Cannon Turret and R4 Astromech.
Kyle Katarn's got Jyn Erso and Moldy Crow.
And Lieutenant Blount is just by himself.
Just by himself, hanging out, not giving a bother. We were talking before, I think it kind of feels like this is a cross-purpose kind of list because it feels like a Jankyard build, but Nora Wexley kind of does her own thing. Like, she wants to be like the aggressive brawler, and that works nicely with Lieutenant Blount because both of those ships care about Nora being within range 0 to 1 of an opponent's ship, which is good. But I feel like if I want to make this more of a Jankyard build, I'd actually make Nora Dutch, who can pass out target locks. Dutch's ability is so powerful.
Yeah, I think that might work just a little bit better. And then you've also got Kyle Katarn with the Moldy Crow with Jyn.
Focus,
which
target
means
lock.
that you can then pass out.
That's it. Like, you're getting focus and target locks, pass off to your friendly ships. And yeah, you don't have that combo with Blount, but I think Blount's just good enough by himself anyway. I don't think that matters. I think that's where we are on this one.
If you fly Dutch similarly to the way that you're flying Nora, it's going to be the same anyway. It just means that you're going to have more target locks. Also, you are able to pass out evade tokens as well with Jyn Erso, which is a bit nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. Kyle with Jyn. Remember, Kyle went down in points in the last points adjustment, so it's good. It makes stuff like this reasonable. Also, if we're not flying Nora, we can change Luke to Wedge if you really want to. I don't know if that's necessarily correct. I think Luke is a better pilot than Wedge overall. But if we do that, then we've saved a point on our Y-Wing. We've saved 7 points on our X-Wing. We could put something on Blount, make Blount a more expensive ship. Like, there's give and take here. I don't think there's anything wrong with this list. I just think, like, there's ways to, like, focus your game strategy here. Moving on to the next list by Rolo Foxx. This is a list with a bunch of Torrents and Padme. So, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gold Squadron troopers. Two of them have synchronized console, yeah.
Yes, we also have Tucker on one of the Torrents.
Also with synchronized console, and nothing is on Padme in the N1 Starfighter. Cool.
Yeah.
Padme. No. Padme is just one of those things, like, people are...
Like, it's so close to being able to do something, but just not yet.
Everyone was so hype on Padme when she was being revealed. And I don't want to sound too smug here, but I called Rick Olay. I called that. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the difference? Rick's gone up in points? Oh, they're now the same. They're now the same. I still don't think Padme's that good. I'm just going to put that out there. Padme was originally more expensive. You could just put Rick on instead.
God, that feels...
Padme is a better support role. I get that. I get it. They can only modify one focus result, but they can still modify all their blank results. Ugh.
Padme can only realistically do one ship. I mean, unless you're flying against a swarm.
Oh well, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. They can all defend against ships. She's got to try and catch a bunch in her forward arc, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal. I think still. I went into this video thinking Padme was still cheaper. She's not.
I think I'd rather.
He's more consistent. He's just more consistent.
He's going to be dealing more damage. He's going to be surviving that a little bit longer. Yeah, the fact that he can change his red and his green dice.
Indeed. Interestingly, the N1 doesn't have any mod slots, so it can't actually take synchronized console. Not that Rick needs it. I think a lot of people's instinct is to take synchronized console on everything. You don't have to. Synchronized console always works with friendly ships that are at range 1, just with other friendly ships that are range 1 to 3, if you want to pass it on a bit further. So, although a list with 7 ships, having it on 3 ships is great.
I think with this you could either fly it as a bit of a swarm and just pass along very easily, or you could fly 2 ships by themselves, and then having one with a synchronized console, one without, and then just pass along.
Yeah, you could almost have Rick and Tucker by themselves and 5 torrents or something like that. There's options there. Now, what the last points change made available in this list is Tucker. It previously would have been 2 points too expensive. Tucker reads, after a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 performs an attack against an enemy ship in your forward arc, you may perform a focus action.
Is it worth 2 more points than a normal gold squadron?
I guess.
I'd say so.
He's not firing a missile or anything like that. It's okay. It's just okay. I think ultimately what I'm trying to say is this is the thing that's now possible in this list that wasn't previously. It's not going to make the list win games. Just saying. There's a reason people have just been taking Gold Squadron Troopers and not bothered investing points. The pilots on this aren't brilliant to begin with, and the frame itself doesn't really justify spending extra points on it. So, I don't know. Maybe go Rico Lay and have a 2-point bid. It might be better. So, whatever. It's cool. Swarms are always fun. Always dig a good swarm. Moving on to this list here, we've got a couple of lists submitted in our YouTube comments. This one by Harry Watt. And here we have Oddball and Wolf with a couple of Gold Squadron Troopers. Oddball on the Y-Wing with expert handling, ion cannon turret, proton torpedoes, clone commander Cody, R4 astromech proton bombs, and munitions fail-safe.
Yeah, Wolf has expert handling, veteran tail gunner, R5 astromech, and the spare parts canister.
And both of those Gold Squadron Troopers have cluster missiles and munitions failsafe. So this is stacked.
Oh, that's a lot of points.
Indeed. Especially Oddball. So I think the conversation around here is, hey, do you really want to put that much stuff on Oddball? Is it a good idea? The risk with lots of weaponry on one ship is you don't get the value out of that weaponry. And when the ship dies, you don't get to have used all of it. If that makes any sense. You can only shoot so many times in a game. So having 2 different kinds of attacks, the ion cannon turret and the proton torpedoes, you're less likely to get a lot of use out of both of them.
Well, not only that, you've still got the proton bombs as well, which you can
use that and the other stuff in the same turn. There's a couple of different cross purposes going on here. So the turret and the bombs are a good combination because ion cannon turret allows you to have some control over when your opponent's ships are going to be. So that's good. That's a very good thing. Proton torpedoes, expert handling. Oddball allows you to get a lock on stuff. So you can do barrel rolls and reloads or red maneuvers. That's all really good together. Now, the ship itself doesn't have a red maneuver at speed 1 to 2, so R4 astromech isn't stopping you from doing it. Neither is expert handling. It's an interesting, we were chatting about this before. You can always do the red barrel roll. You add a white barrel roll onto the options that you have on your action bar. So you could still do the red barrel roll even if you need it. Expert handling is a 2-point card giving you more options, and considering how important this pilot is, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Now, do you have to say beforehand whether you're doing the red barrel roll or the white barrel roll?
Yeah.
Do you need to...
You choose an action. That's correct. I mean...
So you've got to tell your opponent that it's going to be the red barrel roll before you do it. Correct?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, my understanding is yes. If I'm wrong, I will have put it on the screen in front of us, correcting us. Yes, correct. No. They are separate actions, red barrel roll or white barrel roll. The reason you've said that is because you can't see where the bullseye firing arc is. You have to visualize it. You've got to use your brain, your big brain, to work out whether that's going to be in the bullseye firing arc.
Big brain time.
Big brain time. This is big brain time. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So all of that ammunitions failsafe is like the second purpose of this ship. It gets very confused when you have two purposes on a ship, like two separate strategies. And then on top of that, you got Clone Commander Cody, who's just, he's just there.
Yeah.
Doing his Clone Commander Cody stuff.
I mean, it's giving you an extra strain token on opponents, but
it's good.
Is that 4 points worth doing enough work? I don't know.
Not when the ship's already 70 points without him. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world having cross purposes on a ship. You're offering redundancy. You're offering variety to your game strategy. You can adapt to different situations, and that's fine. I just think 74 points overall is too much.
Especially if you can cut it down, you could get like a Jedi or...
Absolutely.
Literally anything else.
Indeed. A popular archetype that's been going around is 2 Jedi and Oddball and Broadside in the Y-Wing. So you can see here the real cost of this versus a meta list. This, where you stack on a lot of points on Oddball, prevents you from doing that meta list. And I'm not saying that's always better, but it's meta for a reason. Like, there is real cost involved with doing this kind of thing. The obvious things that I would consider doing here is just getting rid of Clone Commander Cody, making proton bombs seismic charges. I actually think seismic charges is going to be a better option a lot of the time, especially when board control is important. And proton torpedoes could be plasma torpedoes if you wanted to weaken that attack slightly. And then after you've done that, you can do a lot of things. You could even put like Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Jedi Starfighter on this list. It's very doable with these points. Things to think about. Apart from that, let's have a quick look at Wolf. This is the one that shoots backwards and forwards really good. Does the backwards forwards thing. I like backwards and forwardsy Wolf. Veteran tail gunner. To perform... I see. Oh, it's going all in. It's going all in on the backwards and forwards. That's cool. It's really hard to make that work. There's a reason veteran tail gunner isn't seeing much meta play. But it's cool. I like the cojones on Harry for doing something like that. Harry, if you've flown this and it's worked, let us know.
Yeah, what do you reckon about the spare parts canister, though? I mean...
what's it worth?
4 points?
4 points. It offers more board control, which again is another reason to have seismic charges on Oddball. The spare parts canister can be the thing that Oddball destroys with seismic charges. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's true.
Value is value. Also, expert handling, R5 astromech. Yeah. So, like, you have a list that can sort of do a bit of board control that way. And, yeah, I think just making those basic changes on Oddball, especially seismic charges, just makes the list gel a little bit more. And if you can consider finding room for something a bit more meta-relevant, I think it's going to do a lot better. But, Harry, this looks like a lot of fun. I dig. Let's have a look at one final list from YouTube. This is by Josh Estes. This is a Chewie list, as in a Resistance Chewie list. Chewbacca on the Falcon with Hotshot Gunner.
And then we've got 4 RZ2 A-Wings with Heroic.
So this list is now doable because the Falcon, Chewbacca in specifically, went down by 2 points in the Resistance. So now we can fit 4 A-Wings with Heroic alongside it. And I've spoken about, like, how do we abuse this Chewie ability? How do we make this work? And I think the problem with doing that is it's just a bit of fun jank, which if you don't make it work, it just kind of sucks and you got a bunch of useless ships. But if you have a Falcon and 4 A-Wings, I don't hate that list. Like, the downside, the fail case of that scenario is I don't get to do the Chewie thing, but I have a good collection of ships that can win games by themselves anyway.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but if you switch the A-wings to fireballs...
Oh, I see. You want to go all in, don't you? You want to go all in.
I want to go all in. You go five fireballs.
Yeah, let's get Dead Man Switch on there. Let's not mince words here. Let's go Dead Man Switch on a fireball.
No. Don't bother with the Dead Man Switch because you won't be able to fit enough on. But you then can put on Ray's Millennium Falcon.
And then Ray's Millennium Falcon for 2 points. Yep, that is certainly a thing that you can do. And this is what I'm saying, Justin. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, it's cool. It's cool. Chewie make thing blow up. Shooty. Awesome. But 4 A-wings though. They are
gonna last longer than the
They're so
fireball.
Good. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm just double checking here that last points change. No, they didn't go up in points. And I really think they should have, given their meta share. Yeah. Look, Fireball's cool. I get it. You know what we should do? We just have like 3 named fireballs with like Dead Man's Switch and missiles and everything, and just go completely ham. Look, I think the key thing here is the reason I like the look of this list in particular is because it's a version of these Chewbacca lists that we've been seeing crop up, but it's one that I'm like, oh, okay, no, this one actually feels like it's a bit more functional.
Yeah, you've got 2 options here. You've got the 4 A-wings, which is good by itself. Like, you can do 4 named A-wings, and that's amazing. You're just using the initiative ones. And then you've also got Chewbacca.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we've already seen in meta play, the initiative 1 A-wings are good. They're just good. They're just good chips. They can shoot backwards. They can take a lot of firepower to get through for their points cost. I mean, frankly, I think they're slightly undercosted. That's just what I think of the ship. That's why I like that approach. I think if you go all in on the Chewbacca build, then your ships will blow up, you'll get to attack a bit more, and then you'll lose.
But I like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, everything explodes, and then you walk out, like you pimp walk out of the game shop. That is the strategy in that tournament. Anyway, let's leave this video there. Again, if you'd like to have us chat about any of your list, down in the comment section below, list and link. I have to stress that. And yeah, it's nice to get back to doing one of these again, Justin. Anyway, in the meantime, do all of those things which makes the YouTube algorithm like us. Like, comment, subscribe.
Those buttons, there.
Even dislike. Apparently dislike actually is still considered interaction. So there you go. I know, it's crazy.
But don't dislike it.
No, don't like us. But if you dislike us, it's okay. I'm not angry at that. Also, yes, we have all our social media and our Patreon Discord, which you can be a part of. The Patreon information is down in the description if you'd like to help support the channel. And in the meantime, me and Justin will catch you in the next video.
Bye.